Hello friends, today we will discuss about historical materialism. That means Marx's sociological theory of human progress. Marx's general idea about society are known as his theory of historical materialism. Materialism is the basis of his sociological thought because for Marx, material conditions or economic factors affect the structure and development of the society the most, and he interpreted the evolution of society in terms of their material and or economic basis. For him, it is the matter or material reality which is the basis for any change, and historical because Marx has traced the evolution of human society from one stage to another. Now again we can interpret the term historical materialism, that means a materialistic concept of history, or we can say that materialistic history of society. Now let us see what is Hegel idealism is. Actually, Marx's conception of historical materialism was the reaction of Hegel's idealism. So let us see what exactly Hegel's idealism is. It is the development of ideas which is the most essential for society existence and development. But Marx has countered it, and he has argued that it is the material which generates ideas. Day-to-day activities lead to the development of ideas. So historical materialism is the basic thesis of Marx's view of history. Economic factor is the driving force behind the social change, according to Marx. Economic structure decides society and its substructure, that means superstructure. Friedrich Engels, the most closest friend of Marx, has argued that historical materialism is that view of course of history which seeks the ultimate cause and the great moving power of all important historical events in the economic development of society, in the changes in the modes of production and exchanges, in the consequent division of society into different classes, and struggle of the cases against one another. So those who are preparing for civil services, it is necessary to remember this definition of Friedrich Engels on historical materialism. Now, perspective of Marx. It was against the Hegel's idealism. Marx has argued that Hegel is standing on his head, and he would turn Hegel's right side up. Economic facts of life determine the historical development of society. It is not consciousness of man that determines the being, but they are the being that determine the consciousness. So Marx is just saying opposite of what Hegel has said. That's why Marx is arguing that Hegel is standing on his head, and he would turn Hegel right side up. So according to Marx, society is made up of two parts. First is structure, that means economic structure, that is base, that is foundation. It forms the basic foundation of society. And second one is superstructure. We have to remember this terms, superstructure, that is infrastructure. So structure and superstructure. The superstructure is socio-cultural political aspects of society. Any change in struggle brings change in any change in structure brings change in superstructure, and structure according to Marx is economic factors for any society. Now let us see what is modes of production. Mode of production. This one is also in syllabus and it will come under historical materialism. History of Marx argued that history of human society is the history of people's effort for survival, and at the very base of this survival is economic structure of society, which Marx called mode of production. So basically Marx has called economic structure of any society as the mode of production. So we have to remember this definition. Mode of production consists of two parts. First one is forces of production, degree to which human beings control the nature. It comprises the means of production like raw materials, equipment, machinery, etc. And second, the labor power, the only possession a worker has which he sells in the market for his survival, but it is in control of those who own the means of production. So it is basically Marx is talking about capitalistic society. And second part of mode of production is relations of production. Under it comes the relationship between owners and non-owners of forces of production, relations of domination and subordination, exploitation and separation between owners and non-owners. So actually here the relationship are not on equal terms. Actually according to Marx, owners exploit, suppress, subordinate the non-owners class. So Marx has argued that there are four stages of mode of production based on four historical epoch of society. Each stage has three characteristics: a system of production and division of labor, form of property ownership, ownership of means of production, and third is system of class relationship. So first stage is Asiatic mode of production, that in primitive society. So it was primitive society was hunting and gathering type, and no clear relationship between means of production and no private property. So basically it was a classless society. Primitive society was classless society. Stage 2 was the ancient mode of production. In ancient society, so it was agrarian society, a rudimentary phase of trade and commerce, elementary form of private property, society divided into two major classes, master and slaves. Third stage was feudal mode of production in feudal society. So land was the prime focus here. Now in this society, feudalistic society, private property well developed, landlords aristocratic class, serfs landless class, do not own land but traditionally tied with landed aristocracy. So here clear cut class relationship developed, and it was also based on exploitation. And two major class was landlords and another was serfs. In India, semi-feudalism, serfs having some small land holding not enough for survival. Stage 4, capitalistic mode of production, capitalistic society, private property well defined and supported by codified law. Owner class was bourgeoisie class was owner class, and each owner class, and proletariat, that means non-owner class, that means working class. Now, the growth of new forces of production outline the courses of human history. Human history is an account of development and consequences of new forces of production. New forces of production always come in conflict with existing relationship of production. Dialectic relationship between forces of production and relationship of production. Marx's theory of historical materialism states that all objects, whether animate or inanimate, are subject to continuous change through change in mode of production. This is determined by the law of dialectic materialism. So let us see what is dialectic materialism is. The word dialectic refers to a method of intellectual discussion by dialogue. According to Greek philosopher Aristotle, it is the art of refuting a proposition by question and answer. The idea of dialectic has two aspects: dialect as a logic and reason, and dialect as a process based on logical discussion. So ultimately it was a logical discussion to reach at a conclusion. Marx evolved this concept of dialectic materialism, his concept of dialectic materialism, on the basis of his critique of German philosopher Hegel's theory of idealism. Hegel used the notion of dialectic as a logical process. Marx criticized Hegel for deducing the law of dialectic from consciousness instead of material existence. For Marx, the very basis of dialectic materialism is the existence of contradiction within material existence, which cause social change, and this change is not gradual but violent and revolutionary. So according to Marx, there has been always existence of contradiction within material existence. Now, two key sources of dialectic materialism. One is underlying contradiction within the economic structure resulting in growing conflict, and second one is growth of class conflict because of exploitation of one class by another class for self-interest. According to Marx, the growth of new forces of production outlines the course of human history. Class struggle is the heart of historical materialism and hence the basis of social change. History of existing society is the history of class struggle. According to Marx, no antagonism, no progress. Friedrich Engels put forward three major laws of dialectic materialism. First is the law of unity and conflict of opposites. Thesis and antithesis both together and conflicting. It is the core of dialectic materialism. Development is the struggle between thesis, existing mode of production, and antithesis, new challenging mode of production. For example, feudal mode of production versus capitalistic mode of production. This conflict leads to a new situation, object, phenomenon, or stage or development. This radical change is the qualitative change. Second is the law of negation of negation. Negation, overthrowing of old through internal conflicts and contradiction. Marx gave a materialistic interpretation of negation. Capitalism is the negation of feudal society and socialism would be the negative of capitalism, that is negation of negation. This is intrinsic in nature. The change is due to inherent internal contradictions. Now third one is the law of transition of quantity into quality, radical change. Process of change is not simple or gradual, but it is a product of quantitative advancement which results in radical qualitative change at a particular moment when mature conditions are present. For example, Indian national movement for freedom was continued for more than a century, leading to continuous quantitative change. But 15th August 1947 was the day of qualitative change, that means revolutionary change. Now let us see the Marx on capitalism, that means contemporary mode of production. Marx used his framework of historical materialism to outline in detail his analysis of contemporary mode of production called capitalism. Here means of production are industry, commerce, factory, mills, etc. And here the two major classes are bourgeoisie, that is ownership of means of production, and proletariat, that means working class, those who having only labor power that they sell in the market. Forces of production are governed by market forces, demand and supply side. Search for continuous profit and investment by owning class, bourgeoisie. These are the characteristics of capitalism. Exploitation of proletariat by bourgeoisie for maximum gain. Development of capitalistic mode of production and its continuous existence in present time depends on two concepts. First one is primitive accumulation. Means of production become the private property of one class, bourgeoisie, and pauperization of those who are involved in direct production, proletariat. Availability of free labor through eviction of agricultural laborers from landed aristocracy, which began in 15th century in Europe, and proletarianization of the feudal peasant class by legal transfer of feudal lands in private property. Theory of surplus value. Profit, maximization of profit through surplus labor and exploitation of non-owning class, that means proletariat. Exploitation of proletariat. So these are the two concepts related to capitalistic mode of production. So these are all about historical materialism now and mode of production, and in next lecture we will discuss about the concept of alienation. Okay, thank you very much.